All I do is win. I'm the name of the party. Some of you guys don't know what is going on. The name of the party, I give it to it. Win. All I do is win. Do you understand me? I call the shots. I make the decisions. Do you understand me? All I do is win. I'm the name of the party. Some of you guys don't know what is going on. The name of the party, I give it to it. Win. All I do is win. Do you understand me? I call the shots. I make the decisions. Do you understand me? All I do is win. I'm the name of the party. Some of you guys don't know what is going on. The name of the party, I give it to it. Win. All I do is win. Do you understand me? I call the shots. I make the decisions. Do you understand me? All I do is win. I'm the name of the party. Some of you guys don't know what is going on. The name of the party, I give it to it. Win. All I do is win. Do you understand me? I call the shots. I make the decisions. Do you understand me? All I do is win. I'm the name of the party. Some of you guys don't know what is going on. The name of the party, I give it to it. Win. All I do is win. Do you understand me? I call.
Welcome to another episode of Sheriff's Podcast. Today I have a host with me. I'm very proud to have this host with me. And I'm sure she's well known, Dr. Asha Kissoon. She's the current Deputy Speaker of the Parliament. I will let her introduce herself a little more and say what she has to say. Again, we welcome her to our podcast. I thank you again for tuning in and watching. Today is going to be a fun episode. Let's get to the real business first, and then we'll get to the fun and fluff afterwards. Dr. Kissoon?
Hi, good day everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I am the former leader and founder member of the New Movement Party, and I was part of the joiner with ANOG and LJP.
Correct.
So hopefully we can have a fruitful discussion today on everything that's happening.
We will. This podcast is always a little spicy, I could say, you know. I want to start off with this, Dr. Kissoon. I looked at your interview with a certain news outlet, and you said you weren't sorry for not vacating the seat.
Yes,
right?
yes.
In what context did you mean you were not sorry for vacating the seat? Because I have my own thoughts on that, and I'll tell you the truth, because as you know, Sheriff's Podcast is all about the truth and nothing less. And I will tell you what I thought at that time and my thoughts now.
Okay.
But you said you were not sorry for. Is it that you're not sorry for vacating the seat, or you're not sorry? Or explain to me, because I look at the interview and I was a little confused about that part. So I want you to explain to me and the Guyanese people, what did you mean by that?
I'm so happy that you brought this up, because I believe what I said was taken a little bit out of context. When I said I'm unapologetic, I was specifically referring to ANOG because of the way that they dealt with me in that partnership. I do have sincere apologies to give to the Guyanese people out there for the way the joiner went, for not keeping my agreement with them. The Guyanese people deserve that. But to ANOG specifically, I'm unapologetic, because that was the only reaction I could have to the way they behaved.
Okay, so you're not unapologetic to ANOG, but you're unapologetic to the Guyanese public.
I'm apologizing to the public, but unapologetic to ANOG.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's cleared up. So let me give you my views, and I think you've seen my podcast, and I always have some type of views, right?
Yes, yes.
At first, when you didn't give up the seat, I was a little taken back by it. I wanted to know why you didn't give up the seat. I wanted to know why you were being selfish, and we're here to talk about the truth, right? And what we think, what you thought, and what's happening now. So I kind of resented you for a little, to be honest. Like, I said, you had to join your list. You needed to give up your seat. Your time is over. Blah 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 blah. Now, as time went by, Key and Jibor beating up his girlfriend, kicking she up about the bar, borrowing money from her. Key and Jibor used to be an employee of mine, so I won't say much. It's out in the public domain. I'm not perfect. My wife bought a flower the other day from Master. I thought somebody else buy the flower. The girl showed me the receipt. I still take the vase and I throw it to the wall, and a little piece of glass ricocheted and hit her in the head. I was, and I say it all the time because I didn't do it on purpose, right? So we all have our flaws. And as time went by, I realized that now Althea, which is a very good friend of my wife and a very good friend of mine, I attended her wedding, and Althea, I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think that you were politically capable of taking over that seat from Dr. Asha Kissoon. Now she's the deputy speaker. Now to be a deputy speaker, it's not a fly-by-night job. It's hard work. And I want to turn the mic over now and the cameras now to Dr. Kissoon to explain to the viewers and to the public and to the Guyanese public and the persons that are watching, what does it take to be a deputy speaker? Because I grew up around Uncle Mansour. I wouldn't even call him anything else except Uncle Mansour. When my daughter got QC'd, he wrote a handwritten letter to my daughter. I didn't give it to her yet because I'm lazy, but I will give it to her today. But what does it take to be a deputy speaker?
Okay, so I'm happy that the discussion is going in this direction. You must learn parliamentary protocol to a T, because when you're holding the seat, that's the responsibility of the entire parliament in your hands. The procedures, what they can say, what they cannot say, the bills that are passed. All the responsibilities of the speaker basically are held by the deputy in his absence. You go through international interactions with parliaments from all over the world. There's travel duty where you travel.
Oh, really?
Yes, there is.
So I just want to stop you there. So you're saying to me as the deputy speaker, and I didn't know this, and you know that we're freestyling this right now.
Yes,
there's my teleprompter is off for those who think I always watch a teleprompter. So you, as the Parliament of Guyana, you would interact with Parliament from different countries and different parts of the world.
Yes, the work is continuous. It's not just what you see while there is assisting. Normal MPs have the privilege of going to Parliament, presenting their bills, but the Speaker and the Deputy have tremendous responsibilities.
Wow.
And we have one of the best speakers in the world, I must say, Mansour Nadir, Honorable Nadir. The amount of work that he does in our Parliament, including local work with youth bodies and his debates, it's tremendous. So I was privileged as his deputy to learn from him.
Well, it's news to me. Like I always say on this podcast, I'm not a politician. If you go to Freedom House or you go to any other house, I am not a member of any party. I'm just here to speak my mind, speak the truth, tell people what's going on out there. There's a lot to be discussed today. I'm sorry I'm late, by the way.
It's okay.
But I really didn't know that the Parliament of Guyana speaks to other parliament, and I guess it is normal. Yeah, I mean,
it's very normal, and there are a lot of bodies, overseas bodies that we host in Guyana. Our clerk of the National Assembly is actually putting together a manual for parliamentary procedures in the world. So there's a lot of work that comes out of Guyana.
Yeah.
I would like to bring the conversation a little back to Deputy Speaker,
Sure.
since you brought it up. From all the interviews that I did, if you notice, it's been 2 years since I haven't been speaking to the media.
Correct. I noticed. I thought you were hiding a little, you know.
No, I was
uh,
not hiding because there is a time to speak and there's
Yeah.
a time to be quiet.
Correct.
If I spoke back then, nobody would understand what I was doing. They had to see for themselves. All right? Everything started at Deputy Speaker, so I was happy that you came here.
Correct.
When I did a press conference confirming that I was going to Parliament next, I openly said to the media, if I am given the opportunity to become Deputy Speaker, I will accept it.
Yeah.
Because in 50 years of Parliament Plus, I'm the third woman and the
Wow.
youngest woman to hold this position.
Well, I must say congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
Again, I don't know much about politics, so
It
you're-
was an
you're teaching me,
opportunity,
yeah.
and it's something that I said openly that I would not pass up because of the
Yeah.
opportunities to learn.
Correct.
That's where Anog's lies started. When we got into our disagreement, the first thing they said is that I told them I would not accept Deputy Speaker.
But I think that would be a decision, a personal decision. I mean, if I am asked to be a deputy speaker, and again, I'm not into politics, so I wouldn't be asked, right? I just want to make that clear. But if I was in your position, I think that's a personal opinion. That shouldn't be an opinion of the party to tell you you're already a member, right? Ghana's a democracy, I would assume,
Well, that's where
right?
Anok's thirst for control over me started. They wanted to dictate how I should spend
Correct.
my time in Parliament. We went in as a partnership where I believed that we could have been one party eventually. But I noticed all the discord. Let's start with all the dual citizens.
Correct.
They claim to
Correct.
be fighting for their country, but they wouldn't give loyalty to Guyana by
Correct.
giving up their
Correct.
dual citizenship,
So,
right?
so let me. I just want to cut you there, right? And we're going to continue this discussion because there's a lot of things I want to ask you, and I respect the senior counsel Timothy Jonas and senior counsel Ralph
I have
Francois.
high respect
So
for them.
I won't get to any disrespectful conversations about them, but when I came back to Ghana in 2020, that is when the whole election drama was going on. It was COVID time. I couldn't travel, and I remember I was living at a place called Hallett's Point in New York, and you could have overseen the entire city. And so I got fat because I eating whole day corn curls and everything. I'm still a child. I'm 37, but I'm still a child at heart. If you open my cupboard, right? This is why the question the day about eating out my food, because I don't like nobody eat my food. I ain't not gonna lie, right? I grew up fat. I always been fat. Thank God for Ozempic, right? So my point to you is this. I am happy that you chose the role. Congratulations. I didn't know you were the third deputy woman speaker. But when I moved back to Ghana in 2020, after flights resumed, then the party, which is the current party, the PPPC administration, they brought out the local content law. Now, as you know, at that time, I had one company, and it was a security company. And in that law, it dictated that, which was passed by Parliament, by the way, that the owner of the company had to be Guyanese. Now, since I was 7 years old, we had a green card. But somehow my father was just too lazy, just like how I am lazy, to go and just literally pick up a paperwork and apply for his citizenship. So what I did the right thing. I went to the U.S. Embassy, and I'll give you a joke about this. I went to the U.S. Embassy and I requested a visa. They gave me a 10-year visa, and they gave me back my green card. I was surprised. I thought they would have kept it at the embassy. They said when I travel, just give it back to the officer and whatnot. So now I'm a holder of a visa because I have to follow the laws of Guyana, right? Now, so they had this man in front of me. And the man, he has a visa, and they put the board date wrong, right? They put the board date wrong. And he vexed because of that. So he told the officer, like he didn't have a visa. So apparently the officer went through back and, it's up to the officer's discretion. I don't know how they work and what the U.S. Embassy does and how they give visas or not. So he got denied. So I obviously, me and my fastness, my wife would say, you always know everybody's story, right? Except your own. I know what you mean by that. I figured out because I'm guy. Look at it. Now thinking about it, the song Little Fishy. Anyways, so they denied the man visa, but the man said, I got visa. So I hear the lady hollering up on right? Why you didn't tell me you had a visa, sir? I have already put it in the system. I can't change it. You have to go back for a date, blah, blah, blah. So the man come out crying. I said, well, go, God, watch I going in, I can, right? So I did a course at UG because I own a security company, and it was a intelligence course. The lady said, lock the door. So I started sweating because I see 50 people walk in front of me, right? Nobody had to close the door. The lady said, close the door. So I said, what's this? I said, me coming out here, right? I must do something because I was bad, right? I was doing something bad. Nothing illegal, but you see 50 people walk in a room and nobody had the door closed, and then as soon as you walk in, lady say, you
wonder why.
Closed. Before the lady even look at my passport, door closed. The lady asked me if the officer asked me if I was a spy in Ghana. I said, ma'am, no. She said, did you take a Central Intelligence course at UG? I said, yeah. She said, why? I said, well, I own a security company. I want to know. It was me and my general manager, by the way, and Roshan Khan's son was in there too. And while I was studying at NYU, I did American history. So a lot of the things that he was talking about the CIA and so on, I actually corrected him on a couple of things. A very nice guy, I can't remember his name. Now, so you got to follow the rules. As we're coming back to the topic about Agnew, you cannot, and I see this GCOM has said it, you cannot hold dual citizenship. Now, did it hurt me to my core? I'm not a politician, but I'm a businessman. To give up my green card? 100%. Do I need to follow the rules of Guyana for local content to get my local content certificate? Yes, 100%. So back over to you and this whole dual citizenship. I just wanted to give I like to give my audiences my experience because I can write a book when I'm done with all the travesties I've been through and all of the scares I've been through in life, So tell me about the dual citizenship thing.
I think you should write a book. That would be very interesting. I would buy it.
Yeah.
So as
Thank you.
trying to get working with this team, right? We had Kian Jabor, you have executives. I would like to put on record that I have utmost respect for Mr. Ralph Ramkaran.
Correct. As you should.
He was the only person in that party, even though he took more of an advisor position that assisted me while I was in Parliament.
Correct.
Out of all of them, Mr. Jonas was busy, but he attempted to help when he could. What I can say about that is Kian Jabor and a number of their members who are dual citizens had no intentions of giving up their citizenship for Guyana. That was the first red flag to me. Second red flag came with the internal struggles and fighting.
Yeah.
All right? Everybody in the party, they couldn't come to any decisions. If you heard it mentioned, Mark Franz would normally say that I pledge to give a part.
The famous forger. Go ahead.
I pledge to give a part of the salary to the parties to be used in the election.
Yeah.
That is true. But there was so much discord in the party, and they never agreed what percentage. So how am I giving something then when they could not even agree how much?
At least they got you to agree to give a percentage. They wouldn't get not now to me. I come out going to work every day and you guys got me a percentage of my salary?
The truth is, Ameir, and I'm saying this for the first time.
Yeah.
The fact that the joiner did not work hurts me to my core.
Yeah.
It is something that I wanted to see work in Guyana. It was the first time in history that a joiner was signed into the Parliament of Guyana.
But Dr. Kissoon, first of all, you studied to become a doctor. I got an honorary doctorate, right? And that's just because we're building a few hospitals. So I don't know anything. I don't even know how to do an injection, to be honest, right? Actually, I'm scared of injections. But you're smart, you're intelligent, you're the current deputy speaker. Now, why did you think in your mind at that time that a joiner list will work?
Well, at that time, we wanted a third force to come forward because of the past history of APNU and PPP, right? So we wanted a third force. We wanted to see how new parties could work together. We wanted to try something new to change the political landscape in Guyana. To my dismay, it did not work at all.
But oh man, Dr. Kissoon. I mean, I've been frank with you. I'm going to push out my little Guyanese Borbies accent West Coast because there's a little West Coast boy, right? Y'all trying to party with Kia and Jabor? I mean, why?
All right.
I can't understand. I understand senior councils. I understand yourself.
So,
But y'all think that Kia and Jabor and Altia, I don't know her name and she's gonna hate me after this. My wife is gonna kill me after this. But
all right.
again, why did you think that was gonna work? Because so
It was solely because of Mr. Ralph Ramkaran, and that's the truth. Because his support was with the party. Right? The respect I had for him, I said because he's with ANOG, I am going to partner with them. No other reason. It was the respect that I had for him.
Yeah.
That's why there was personalities like he and Jabor. And then imagine me in this seat now, talking to them. Had several meetings with Mark Franz, which I must tell you he would not relay back to the executive. Something not put in the public is that I was mentoring Miss Altia King. All right? She was being forced by them to lie. And I must say, I respect her to the extent that she did not tell lies on me, even though they were forcing her.
I can tell you, like I said, she's very close with my wife, so we go to dinners and I remember one time my wife didn't know it was and she's like, all these reporters are coming up and Alti is supposed to be the next parliament. I was like, I'm like, who?
Yes, and
This Altia?
at the time that
This
was
girl here?
happening, I was mentoring
Yeah.
her. And Altia indeed was not ready, but she does have a good heart.
No, she does.
She was willing to learn and to step into the role that was given to her, but she didn't feel ready. She said that to me also.
Yeah. So,
right?
so
And that was pushed by Kian.
So I'll tell you something, and it's something personal. Like I said, when I go home, if I get beat, Miss Kissoon, Dr. Kissoon, you gotta come help me because I'm telling stories that I'm not supposed to tell. So I went to Marriott. There was this energy conference, and my wife came by to support me, obviously. And she said, "Did you know Althea is gonna be the next parliament? A parliamentarian?" I'm like, "Nope, she's not." She's like, "Why you say so?" I said, "Because this girl is not ready. She has a great heart. I love her to death. She's a very nice person. She gives great advice. I can tell you that. But she doesn't have the bullishness, to be honest to you, and that's what you need to be a parliamentarian, or especially for a joiner list. You need to be a bullish person, meaning a person that is harsh, that held their ground like you did, that took criticism day after day and didn't budge. Because again, at first, I was critical of you in my mind. Of course, I didn't have this podcast. I didn't have any news network. We bought over mud water, but now we clean water. You gotta be clean water now. We can't be muddy no more, right? Plus, a Naki Mara-wise are driving in. You can be vexed about the whole and talk to me now. Anyways, so you have to have a bullish person, right? And these are just my thoughts. So Althea wasn't ready. And if you had put Kia and Jabor there, it's like putting Asadin to be president. You might as well put a clown to do the job. Simply being said.
Now that you've said this, all right, I'm giving you a perspective from my view sitting in this seat. I'm trying to work with ANOG. The executive is in a mess. It's chaired by Kian Jabor at the time, the alleged woman abuser.
Wait. Stop. ANOG, Just give me a second. Wait, hold on.
Processes, yes. It was chaired by Kian Jabur at the time.
You're telling me that Anog, right, a respected party at that time, was was chaired by Kian Jabur?
Yes, I am.
Man, Dr. Elian.
No, it's
sure?
the gospel truth. And then, next chairman, Dr. quote-unquote Mark France, alleged forger.
Wow.
The party is in a mess. Altia is under pressure by
Yeah.
both of these gentlemen.
Yeah.
Mark France basically destroyed Anog.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right?
100%.
I got intel of what he was planning, and I'm there. It's time to give up the seat. He did not support the party. I had bills to propose in Parliament, and since we have a joiner agreement, they had to support me on this.
Yeah.
Being our constitution recognizes government and opposition.
Correct.
Right? But a joiner party counts as independent opposition. I
see.
wanted us to be independently recognized because we do not fall under Aubrey Norton as leader of the opposition.
Correct.
Something
Because
as
you're a third force.
yes,
Yeah.
something as simple as that they couldn't agree on. They don't even understand it up to now because if you ask them what are the things that Asha Kissoon approached them with,
Yeah.
they can't tell
Well,
you.
I am still stuck on the idea that Kian Jabur.
So I'm sitting there, and there's all this confusion and this fighting.
Yeah.
Am I to give my seat to an alleged woman abuser, to an alleged forger, to
Yeah.
somebody that is about to collaborate with a sanctioned individual?
Well, we're gonna get to that. There's a lot for us to talk about today, but
And I know the
yeah.
public scrutinized me, and I was called names, but
Yeah.
in my heart, I knew that I couldn't do that.
yeah, I can imagine how hard it is. Sometimes I don't, when I first started this podcast and Sheriff News Network, some days I didn't want to do it. Some days the scrutiny, because I'm not a politician, right? I'm not accustomed to being scrutinized in the public domain. And I bet you come set it. Unless somebody tries to pull a stunt like they did in 2020, on September 2nd, this podcast is going to go in a different direction, right? I don't get paid to do this. I don't get any rewards from the government. Nobody gives me anything. But I feel like if every day I come on this podcast and I could get one person to or to even think about switching to the People's Progressive Party, Civic. And I don't know which party you stand with, and I don't, if you want to say you can, but if I can get one person to even think about that, then it is worth my time. Now, we all know that. So I was confused today. I had to ask my editor. I don't know if I must drink the night before, I want a bar, and so I just got to take a little drink with a customer here and there, right? So I was a little confused because I had to ask, first of all, ask Kieran Bruce. I said, Kieran, what's going on here? Did they join force with, and we're coming back to that topic. Is there anything else you wanna clarify before we move on to this new Anog party now? Is there anything that you want to clarify, that you want to say to the public, that you want to get out there, a message you want to send?
Yes, there is. Now that you brought it up, okay? I did want the joiner to work. That's a message I want out there. I am sorry that it didn't work. It was a dream of mine. But I believe that the People's Progressive Party Civic have redeemed themselves from what I saw in the past over the last 5 years.
But why are you sorry? You did an excellent job.
No, as in, there are a lot of people who supported us that also wanted to see a joiner work. Mind you, I'm with the PPPC now.
Correct.
I am a candidate on the list right now.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Kudos to you.
I support
you
that.
see, now I feel like I win today because now I feel like I get one person to join, right?
Yes,
I
so
feel like a winner
you've
now.
succeeded today.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah.
I don't have any apologies to Anog because Anog didn't deal straight with me.
You don't need to
My
apologize to
friends
anybody.
wanted to destroy his party. In fact, the last conversation I had with him, he was planning to form a party of his own.
Yeah.
But then he was reinstated as chairman,
yeah.
and then the forgery documents are out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ameir, you own hospitals. Do you know how serious it is
It
for
is.
surgical rotation and internal medicine rotation to be forged?
Let me tell you something. I had to get, and I don't lie. Especially, I lie. But I don't lie on this podcast because everything I want to be said can be Google, can be research. I don't want nobody to ever come and say I lie on my podcast or as a propaganda thing or whatnot, right? So I do lie, but I don't lie on this podcast. Whatever said is always being said and can be traced back 20 years from now, right? So, of course, to get the medical, not the Ozempic, I use Monjaro. Let's get that straight. Apparently, I'm heavy on the Ozempic. Whatever, right? I'm happy with myself right now. So, I've asked my medical director to give me a prescription. Do you know, as the owner, as 49% owner of that hospital, I had to beg for a prescription. The man did not want to give me. And guess it was for how much? It was just for 20 for personal use. And I do have my family does have a sugar problem. So using it not only helps me lose weight, but it also helps me to curb as a doctor, I'm not a doctor, I just got the honorary degree, I know nothing, right? Y'all don't come and ask me for no medical advice. I can tell you I drink Terraflu or something. But the man did not want to give me.
Yes, because
Because-
you would need a medical assessment first to
Exactly.
see if your body can handle the medication,
Exactly.
which is the right way, even as the part owner
So-
of the hospital. You must go through
But
this.
imagine that. Part owner of a hospital, right? Basically, it's mine. 'Cause if something happens to my father today, tomorrow is mine anyways, 100%. But as legally speaking right now, I'm 49% owner of the hospital in Lenore, the hospital in Mocha, the hospital we're building in Berbice, right? So I had to beg him. So I understand the seriousness of forging. I call him Dr. Forger now.
It's quite something. Having people's lives in our hands.
Yeah.
A lot of the public I see compare politics with the medical practice. It's very different.
No, it's completely different.
It's very different. This is something, my profession as a doctor, I take it very seriously.
Yeah.
I have sincere love for my patients and I take care of them as I would any of my family
You're
members.
competing with me a lot do COVID. You take enough money from me. I'm gonna collect back little raise from you after this podcast. No, but you did well. You did well. I just thought in my opinion, I just thought you need a better entrance way. Because remember I had that as Johnny Rockets before, eh? And that's how I know Kian Jabor. Kian Jabor is a wild card. And that's why when you told me he was cheer at one point, I had to laugh. Because this is a guy who does drugs, by the way. One of the reasons I had to fire him from Johnny Rockets, I go in the office and I find a line. So now me, was the line. It's like, the man, the girl bringing flour up to the office. So the manager complained me. So I said, no man, that's not true, right? Because, the guy acts like angel in front of me. So go back a week later, the man in the office piss up himself, drunk, right? Well, I wouldn't say drunk, high. I said, Kian, get out of the fucking building. Sorry to curse Dr. Kissoon, but this podcast is about the truth, right? Get out of the fucking building. And that's what I said. And then he went on to open Taco Loco, which failed. No, well, he opened something else with the girl that he beat up. That failed. opened Taco Loco, couldn't pay his rent. That failed. Right?
Alleged electricity thief, mind you.
Oh yeah. Forget the lad. Not alleged. It's not alleged. He thief electricity, right? So my point is how can you be a chairman if you're stealing electricity? You got failed businesses. What are you telling the people again? So you're basically the third. If you had given up your seat, right? And again, I'm telling you, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be apologizing. I mean, I know you probably feel a little bad, and you wanted to give Althea. She's a great gal, but you did the right thing because you're mature. You understand. You're a doctor, right? On if you had given up your seat, the parliament would have been in disarray.
It would
And
have.
I didn't like you at first, to be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I ain't kiss your ass here on this podcast because I felt that you should have at the beginning, I felt that you should have given up and you should have held to your word. But as time went by, I started to see a different side of you because remember, I didn't really know who Dr. All I know, you were a competition COVID time, right? That's all I knew. And the second thing I knew about you, that you were being sworn in and you had to serve, I think, 3 months. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? And that was it. And then the whole news, I think Kaichur was the one who broke the news. He didn't want to, and I could be wrong. Whoever broke the news, I apologize. But you didn't want, so I started to follow you now, right? I started to follow you, not stalk you or anything like Kian would stalk his girlfriends, right? but I started to follow what you've been doing in Parliament. And I don't like to have guests. The only guests I will have here is the Honorable President, Vice President, or Jack Bamsey, to mess him up because I can buy him and sell him. I can't smuggle like him, right? But well, apparently we're gonna get to this. He it's not his party according to a video that was surfaced, but we'll get to that a little later. So don't be sorry. You did an excellent job. I'm not kissing your ass here because I want any favors from you. I'm happy that you didn't give up your seat. And I'm happy that you are. I forgot. I came here today. I forgot that you were the deputy speaker. I feel a little honored. I gotta get a picture after this. But again, don't be apologetic, or don't apologize to Agnew. If you want, you've already apologized to the people of Guyana. But the people of Guyana have to understand and has to understand as well. How could you, in your right consciousness or your right mind, give up a seat to a person who isn't ready to be a parliamentarian? Because what would they have voted on? What would they have understood about? And I know Althea King, like I said, she's a great gal. But she wasn't ready.
Althea has the potential to be a wonderful politician.
She does.
She's learning and she's growing, and I do wish her the best. She was honest when it came to me, even on live shows, even though she was under pressure from Mark and Kian at the same time. These guys wanted a puppet.
Yeah.
I am nobody's puppet.
Well, we can tell. Because you
Right.
didn't give up your seat. You didn't budge. And I'm happy for that.
And you're saying it today, and I appreciate your sentiments and what happened. But persons that knew me reached out, and I could show you countless messages on my phone right now. Asha, I know you must have a reason for what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but you have my support. And a day like today, they messaged back and said, well, now I understand. But you see, we know you,
Yeah.
and we know you must have a reason.
No, well, again, I'm going to repeat this again. And when you didn't vacate your seat, I follow politics a little bit. I don't do I don't want to be in your position. I don't want to be in Jagdev's position. I don't want to be in Irfan Ali's position. I definitely don't want to be in Winseed Party position, right? I get mixed up with the names a lot. I get old, right? But look, you had your reasons. You did what you did. You did a fantastic job. I must commend you for it.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And I want to, when you leave this podcast today, focus on the PPP has built the foundation. And Joel taught me this, Joel Bagwadin. I'm sure you know him. And I repeat it almost every podcast. The President Ali-led administration, along with the Vice President, you must give the Vice President a lot of credit, right? Because he works his ass off. I've seen it firsthand. I even said to him, Chief, one day, I would never like to be you. Because he works, from morning till about 2, 3 o'clock in the night. Well, in the morning again. So he works from morning to morning. And I'm sure the president... morning I wake up, girl. Sorry, well, I say girl, but Dr. Kissoon. I hear siren, I say, get the lock up now, something I do. Because I always bad, right? Since I small, I manage. Just call it manage, right? So, right next to me, where I live in Richmondville, and exactly next to me, and I just want the government to know, I got build back my little thing, crack up on them thing, because there can be a little fight with me and y'all on this podcast. And my house is shaking, literally shaking, right? But to want a country to grow, you must make sacrifices. The president has given a mandate of the bridge to be finished. It's one of the biggest accomplishments this country will ever have. Right? So, me losing sleep, thank you, Mr. President, for me losing sleep. But it's okay. I'm willing to make that sacrifice. So I hear most of the sirens come by. So, I'm going to do it now. Right? Because remember, my house is literally, there's just a fence and then the road coming to Heroes Highway.
Yeah.
Wake up. See the man cussing up some contractor. Right? He just shake me in and I just go back to sleep. I couldn't sleep because the sirens are going on. But, I mean, you got to understand, this man is leaving his home, his family. He has 2 little kids that needs a father to grow up. And I'm sure that he has to make sacrifices, right? And people don't understand. So don't
the
be
public life is not an easy life.
No, it's not.
I cannot even begin to comprehend the level they are at, the president and the vice president, but it's less time with your children. It's public scrutiny. It's sleepless nights. It's tremendous, endless hours of reading, interaction with people, with the public, with strangers, public scrutiny. That's also my life. Public scrutiny for the last couple of years.
And then we fighting for 3/4 we land as well.
Yes.
We fight.
And
That's another thing. We fight for
That's
3/4 we
an
land.
important point. That is how I made a decision to join the PPPC. Because
Explain.
I was standing there in Parliament, well, sitting,
Yeah.
and a motion was brought before Parliament for us to come together and disagree on Venezuela holding elections for Essequibo.
100%.
And
Nobody holding no election.
opposition stood up,
Coolly,
gave
and they walked out.
a political
Is
speech
that-
and walked out of Parliament.
Yes,
And I was left there sitting alone on opposition side in dismay. Did that just happen?
No, you know what? I remember that clearly. I look at these people, I shook my head because I said, look, you can walk out of Parliament for anything.
But not this.
But not, you can't walk out for fighting for, first of all, Afro-Guyanese and Indo-Guyanese, it's bare cutlass gonna fling. You let them Venezuelan come over here with their guns and they play. They gonna see what cutlass can do. Coolie people and black people don't fight. We don't give up. We land. Not an inch. You put your fence over 1 inch over your neighbor. You see what happens.
To bring a light joke to this situation, even though it's very serious.
Yeah. No, but
Somebody said that in order for us to keep Essequibo, just put me by the border. Not even Maduro can move me.
No, put me. I go. He can't.
Just like I held a seat in Parliament.
Yeah,
He can't move me.
exactly right. You know what I'm gonna do? You know, I build in a school in Region 7, right? So it's not too far. I'm going to build a house there and I'm going to put Dr. Asha Kissoon on it, right? And I'm going to put, you can't move you.
You can't move me.
Right?
And I am so patriotic that
Yeah, no, you are.
I will
You are.
stand by Venezuela's
No, you
intrusion into Essequibo and say that it's wrong. And that day I stood up in Parliament and I was so angry. It's hard to get me angry
Yeah.
because I'm generally a calm person.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
felt anger in my heart that day that they
Yeah.
walked out.
You know what?
And I stood up and I spoke. And that is the moment I made that decision. You know what? I'm going to work with government to ensure that our country is safe.
You know what surprised me the most? You could have walked out on a bill the government because you don't like the PPP, but as a country,
The entire world was watching.
no, but not the entire world. Let's take the entire world out of context for now, right? Let's just say Guyana
Guyana.
and Venezuela, right? And you're coming after my land that we've had a treaty, we are in court for 10 years now, and the opposition of the country, while that debate or that bill or whatever was being presented, you stood up and you walk out. What does that say about you as a opposition? Well, not you, but AP and you, and the other parties at that time. Say about that. That it says that you don't care about Guyana. You don't care about the Guyanese people.
I sat there as a young person, as independent opposition, and I was dismayed. And I stood up and I spoke. I told them if they can't come together on this issue, it proves that they do not care about the Guyanese people.
We look, I said this before, and I'm going to say this again. Dominic Gaskin said, the son-in-law of the former Honorable David Granger, and I always have respect. I one time I said something that I regret on this podcast. I actually said it twice or thrice. I said he is a planting chip president. But I must apologize to him for that because I do have respect for David Granger. The rest of ministers can kiss my ass, right? Literally. Because they're all stealing, they're all doing their whatnot. In fact, I think they misled him on the 2020 elections, and that's why he went and he signed that agreement with Dr. And then opposition leader Barjak Deo to do the recount. And once he knew that the recount
From
was
what I understood, he was against the rigging.
correct,
And
look,
the
yeah.
fight with the ministers, and I was there at Ashman's building when they tried to
I wasn't there, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Region
but,
4.
yeah.
We were all standing there. Mingo's hands were shaking like this. Valdo Lawrence, honorable member, former honorable member, was standing at his side, and he was like this, right? And we were all against it, and that bomb scare. You need to come
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this
yeah,
building
yeah,
now,
yeah.
and I'm there. I'm saying, well, it's okay. We'll stay here.
Yeah.
But that's all
Why
right.
not? Yeah.
The night the ballot boxes, the police came in. Myself and 2 other TNM members were the last persons in that
Really?
room. And the police with their shields, the black clothes police, and they're pushing us. And when they touch me, the guys, they're like, no, don't touch her. And then I'm like, guys, let's stand out. And then now the case is in court, and
Yeah.
we're seeing the truth is coming out that the ballot boxes
Not me.
were moved.
At least you take a push and stay easy. Anybody push me, it would have been war and there. I could tell you.
No, well,
Hands would have started flying.
I've
kicks
said
would have
this
I tell you, the police
before.
would have cried.
Yes.
I would have had to bring food, bring me back on the street.
you see what happened traditionally. When the Reagan was happening, it was a fight between them and the PPP.
Yeah.
The last election, you had the new parties like us who are also seeing what's happening. So it was hard for them to push their normal agenda of
Oh,
Reagan.
but they don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. The honorable President Granger didn't held a press conference for we got sometimes when Jack Deals talk is get fed up. Chief, sorry, right? Right? But the man give a press conference for the last 10 years, every single Thursday, sick or not sick, busy or not busy, right? I've never seen, maybe he had canceled once or twice. But from recently, I haven't seen anything mean canceling. But at that time, they did nothing for the country. Guyana was a flop.
And they still had the audacity to say that Guyana is a construction site in Parliament, and they're so inconvenienced. Growth comes with discomfort. You just brought an example that you're sleeping and you woke up.
Me whole house shaking and they're studying if me fall on me.
I am happy to be inconvenienced to see my country being built.
Same. I tell people, look, and I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to be it very quick. I'm going to say it quickly because I know we have a lot to talk about, right? First of all, I think Mohammed's sister should run for president because she's more capable of speaking or giving a public statement, right? Mia Khalifa, sorry, Hannah, I don't know why I keep on messing up this name all the time. Sorry, Hannah, but anyways, so she put up an image of when PNC was in power and the new Ogo Road that was built. And then she put up the road that PPP built. Feel like I'm in New York. Feel like a pass in JFK to go to Liberty Avenue, those nice signs and right? And then she put up with the Win Party, the team Mohammed, that for like 5 or 6 Bentley cars. I'm like, so thanks for giving the PPP credit, in my mind, right? At least we know now who built the road to drive the car on. But, are these people so...
I don't know the young woman, but I saw her reading from her phone the statement that she made.
Malisha reading something?
I am very concerned by that press conference held after nomination day when the presidential candidate clearly did not know his policies, did not know what his plans for in extending Guyana's oil and gas economy. Mark France tried to go in there, but they weren't really speaking to him.
Nobody cares.
It was a disaster, literally.
But
how can you, and this is what people don't understand. I ran as the presidential candidate in 2020 elections. And you must be open to scrutiny. You must be able to respond to questions on the spot. You don't need to say very soon and prep for them. How could you want to lead a country and not know your policies?
Like I said yesterday in this podcast, again, I'll say it quickly. When the reporter asked Dr. at that point, opposition leader Barjak Deo, where do you go from here? He said,
into
office. Into government. And that was his answer and he left.
Yes.
Because that, as a politician, you need to have answers in your
Yes.
I would think you would need to have it, and you are a politician, you need to have it right away. You can't, I can do something for Guyana and pumping. That's what the man basically said. That's what I watched, this is what I hear he says.
Ameir, we are past the point of vague statements. Let me explain as a politician.
Correct.
To say that I can stand before God and say, I am going to make the lives of all Guyanese better and make the poor people lives better. The media's going to say, how? You have no answer. I am going to give free housing to all the poor people.
But the government already give 29,000 core homes.
Yeah, so the question still comes, how? How do you categorize the poor people?
Yeah.
What are your policies in place to
Yeah.
ensure that it is given to persons who need it?
Yeah.
Right? There are no answers.
Yeah.
There is a magical manifesto that will be released with all the answers.
ChatGPT.
Yes.
ChatGPT is
That's
gonna.
true.
But I tell you something. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna run through every single last word, not even sentence, and I'm gonna put out there what came from ChatGPT and what didn't come from ChatGPT. I will tell the truth. If it didn't come from ChatGPT, I will say it didn't come from ChatGPT.
And then I'm going to stand before the people of Guyana. I'm running for president. And I'm going to say, over the last 50 years, we had no water or housing given to anyone.
Me, you know, we talking about, I just had you to buy install water by my place yesterday.
All right, I have the privilege of sitting on the board at GWI.
Oh, do you?
And I know the tremendous work that is being
man,
done.
you see, you got off me water yesterday. I forget to pay my bill a little bit. Sorry, remember I don't
They're
smoke.
very efficient. The staff at GWI
No, they are.
very
They came right.
efficient.
They came about 20 minutes later. Sorry, I don't smoke gold. I don't do it. So I forget to pay my bill. So they cut off my water, right?
Once you don't
And
get the keys of stealing water,
No, I didn't see. No, what happened? I forget to pay the bill, and they come and cut off the water, right? And at one of my buildings, I forgot. You know, you got a lot of places you just forget, and you know, and stuff, right? So as you know, we don't smuggle things. We don't do illegal business. So you know, that's why you know. Remember when you come in and turn off the AC at first, because I gotta save a little money, you know, because you know, again, I can gotta talk to Mohammed if things go a little sideways for me, right? But look. I want to end this whole Agno thing with you. Agno's finished. They're done.
It is.
And is it Agno or Agnog? Sorry.
Anog.
Agnog. Whatever it is now, it's finished. Mark France made a mess of it, right? He forget the forging of the documents. He made a mess of it, teaming up with a sanctioned person. Look, a lot of people think I have problems with Mohammed. I don't have problems with anybody who has ambitions. Ambition is a great thing to have, just like you. You have ambitions. I'm sure one day I might have to say maybe maybe Vice President Asha Kissoon or well, you're on the list. I'm sure you're gonna be a minister. I don't know. Let me not say, because people might think I know inside information. I don't know nothing, right? But I will be proud to say or to see a day that a woman or anyone in any party that is going to do good for Guyana, whether it's PPP, we all know Aubrey Norton at this point don't have a vision, so I can't say him. But I will be very proud one day to see a woman-led party or a woman-led vice presidency and so on and so forth. But coming back to the point, Agno or Agnog or whichever it is, it's dead now. And one of the reasons they're dead is because the two most brilliant men in the party resigned. They couldn't stand for what Mark France or let's call him Dr. Forger because it's not a lie, right? Was doing and is doing, and you were so right not to give up your seat, because now the truth is coming out. People are, and it's not coming out by hearsay. You're seeing it. We saw it on nomination day. We saw him signing what did he sign with the sanction man again?
They called it a collaboration, but it has not been made public, so nobody knows what's happening. He did say that he's not accepting funding from Mohammed, but he's with the party, and the party is being funded, so I don't understand how that works.
If you collect a water from the party, is you accepting the funding? Simple as that. Right?
So even though they said that, it makes no sense. How?
Oh, but by the next sanction list, he can be on it. Right? Now, you even know if he forged the man's signature, Mohammed, please, Mr. Azuddin Mohammed, please check the signature on the document, because you don't know who you're dealing with there. If you think you was a scam, the man would wrap you around your finger twice, thrice, and you wouldn't even know. Now, I want to end not our segment, not our piece, because I have a lot more to say. But I want to end our part with Anog is dead. 1. 2, you made the right choice by staying in Parliament. At the time when you were staying, I didn't think it was right. Now that I've seen what's happening, you were absolutely right. You owe no apology or apologies to Anog or anyone in their party. Frankly saying, you don't owe an apology to any Guyanese, because you said your part, you did your part, you stood in Parliament when the opposition walked out, when Venezuela was they kept the elections, right? You should be proud of yourself for doing that. You should be proud of yourself to be the third deputy speaker, woman speaker of Guyana. And you should be proud of the work you've done in Parliament. I am proud of you. Like I said, I don't keep a lot of people on this podcast because I say a lot of nonsense. But the nonsense comes with truth, right? Now, I'm going to give you one last chance to say what you want to say to the Guyanese public. I will stay quiet. Because I'm not usually a quiet guy. I interrupt a lot, right?
I'm going to end this by saying that even though Parliament has been dissolved, our office still is constitutionally working. The Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Leader of the Opposition, and Ministers continue their work. Okay. So other MPs are no longer Member of Parliaments, but our work continues. So work is continuing. I'm still here. I'm still holding the seat that everybody says I do not want to give up. All the way up to elections. And I'll continue to do what I have to do.
I'm going to put you by Venezuela because you're a tough one, right? So, Dr. Kissoon, there was a video last night. There's so much that happened yesterday, I can't keep up, right? This is like keeping up with the Joneses, right? You can't just keep up. So I want to. Do you have time to continue this podcast?
Yes, I do.
I'm making a lot of time for you here. I just want you to know I got a lot of things to do. I actually woke up late this morning. I rolled out of bed and I was like, shit, it's 11 o'clock, right? I'm no kidding you. I roll out of bed, slap myself like this and start brushing my teeth and running to come here, right? Because I didn't want to keep you waiting yesterday. You know, we had a podcast session scheduled, but I was busy. And I didn't want to keep you waiting today, so I felt extremely bad. I asked my editor to apologize to you.
Yeah, it's okay.
So there's so much that happened yesterday, right? And I want to start off with this topic. And editor, can you please roll where Doggy said he calls a shot in the win party?
All I do is win. I'm the name of the party. Some of you guys don't know what is going on. The name of the party, I give it to it. Win. All I do is win. Do you understand?
Yeah. So I'm sure everybody's seen this because on Sheriff News Network, it got over 500,000 views, right? Which is a lot of, and it wasn't boosted. It was generic views.
Yes.
Now, this is a man, his name is Bradley Sampson, I say, a.k.a. Doggy. The man claimed he came up with the name Win, right?
I saw that.
Yes, I think the entire Guyana saw it. He runs the party. He does everything for the party. So, then I got to understand, I started to think back. Now, for a man who is close to you, who picks you up when, you remember when they had a whole drone situation when I was supporting my drone operator, right? And so I saw Bradley Sampson, aka Doggy, pick up Mr. Azzedine Mohammed in his silver black Mercedes. I was like, wow, this is a nice car. I mean, it's a nice car, right? And I would assume he drop him home, or if they went to a hotel and do it. I don't know. all I know I see pick you up. Me know what they do afterwards, right? But and it's gonna get controversial. So tell me when you want to stop and you want to leave, because I know you have a political career.
I'm not new to controversy.
No, but I'm just saying, I know you have a long political career ahead of you. Me, I ain't got nothing after say. I'm a second, right? I just gonna talk stupidness on this podcast whole day, right? But so he has to be close, because Muhammad went and he sat in the front seat and he drove off. After he came out and the drone operator and him had a confrontation and whatnot. Mind you, I was just there to support my drone operator, nothing else, right? Because I lead from the front, I don't lead from the back. Like you see me and Panta had a fight the other day. It's not that we had a fight, My client pick up the phone, call me. I see 7 man with AR-15. Guess what? I was the first one there because I get paid to do security. I got a lead from the front. You can't be a leader of a company or a leader of an army or a leader of a security force or a private militia, right? And you're in an office sitting down. That's what you call people with no regards for people's life. And you know me, I don't keep my mouth shut. My mouth is be hard all over the place. Because if you're gonna violate my client, because my client decided to switch from. First of all, I never wanted to do business with Yokohama because I buy cars from them. And I buy cars on credit. That's the truth. And I try not to do business with people or security for people that I do business with. But it came to the point where we started to do so much business with so many persons that it came to that point. The guy called me, said he's not satisfied with Panther's security service. Can I take over? I was a little hesitant. I took over. 3 days later, the whole story happened. You know me. I don't keep my mouth shut. I lead from the front. Everybody said, "Oh, you should have stayed home and let your guys." I said no, because if I wasn't there, I don't know what could have happened. I was the one who had to call the police. Anyways, let's move on from that topic, right? So, Bradley Sampson said he came up with the Win Party's name. He runs the party. It makes sense. Think about it, Dr. Asha Kissoon. You can't answer a question when the great God, you got to say the great God, mostly the man has earned his stripes, right? Whether which side he's earned his stripes. You got to give jacket, right? And just like Julia Johnson, you have to give Janet her jacket as well. They've earned their stripes. Me and you are now starting out with this little podcasting we do, and they've been doing it for many, many years for free for a long time. So kudos to them and congratulations to them. But now I understand why the man couldn't answer the question, because he's not the founder of the party. He doesn't call his shots in the party. The man is now we know that Doggy is the leader of the party. In fact, this reminds me of when Papa. Dr. Kissoon, I'm sorry. I have to apologize for laughing here and there. And it's like I got black tongue, right? I thought about this last night, right? Because I said it's rent a crowd. We'll come back to the rent a crowd. So I think to myself, I went this morning and I checked my tongue, right? If any part of it black, right? Because it's like I got black tongue. When I say something on this podcast, it happens the same day or the next day, right? So I did say it was rent a crowd, and literally I was driving past and I see some scrapes waiting for money at his yard, right? Right? I bought a bike from one of his neighbors, and so I went to do some transactions and whatnot. And I passed by and see scrapes hanging out by the fence, you know the scrapes, the man hang out anyway, right? And couple females as well, they were well behaved, right? They weren't thing. And me thinking to my head, the mom was waiting for the little freck that they promised. So said, so done. Anyways, so Bradley Sampson said he's the leader of the party. He came up with the name. Remember this? Videos don't lie. Muhammad didn't dispute it. Now, yesterday, according to my black tongue, right? There was a scene at the coffee. Everybody have seen it.
Yeah.
Where they promise supporters, the rent-a-crowd supporters, 50,000 Guyana dollars, right? And they only paid them $5,000.
Well, according to their PR person, Miss Fata, I don't know her correct name.
Well, those are the
only the
name we know.
persons in the book were entitled to receive the $50,000.
Hold on, but this is the point. I watched that same video. So, to get a crowd, you got to rent one, and your name got to be in a book?
Yes, they had to be registered.
Oh, you got to be registered to attend the rally?
Yes, so the
okay,
persons
okay.
who were
I
added on were being scolded not to video or go and fight for money because their names were not in the book. We need to be correct on what was said.
So, now I believe Bradley Samsung, aka Doggy, that he is the leader of the party because he's the one. I mean,
It's starting to make sense.
it's starting to make sense because one, the alleged leader and the alleged the forged man can't answer no question. The only man really talking out and talking the truth now is Doggy, aka Bradley Samson, right? He pulled a gun at the female. He basically beat up the female in front of the public.
Yeah.
We all saw it. It's a despicable thing to do, right? And it's a shame to
Alright.
Guyana.
Can
to
you
win.
look at this from another perspective?
Tell me.
And this is how I was looking at it. This is a leader in a party, alleged leader of the party.
Well, he's not a leader. The man said
He says he's the leader of the party, right?
he lied.
The leader. Can you imagine if Dr. Jack Dale, Honorable Vice President, or our President, His Excellency Mohammed Irfan Ali, displayed behaviors like that?
We wouldn't have had a country today. The entire country, they would have burned it down.
And these are people who are saying that they can lead Guyana. They want to be the third force. They want to be the leaders of Guyana. And coming from the so-called founder or leader of this party, according to him, what direction is Guyana going into?
But let me put it into a different perspective that I and yourself would understand. So you had a business, correct? And you still have a business. Or I don't know. Maybe you vacated that because your work is too much. But I know firsthand your business was successful. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because you were my competitor at the time, right? So I knew your business was successful. Did you have to do anything illicit to make your business successful?
Not at all. My degrees were not forged, so my
Correct.
experience and what I brought to the table helped to succeed.
Now that's one. Two, didn't it take hard work for you to make that business
Sleepless nights.
Thank you.
Sleepless nights. I'm sure you went through this too.
Well, I got no bank loans. I just got take sleeping pills. I don't know even how the banks even lend me money because when they see my balance sheet, my mom says, shit, by this man dead tomorrow. In fact, a day I sick, right? I get a story. A day I sick and the chairman of the bank called me, Ameir, you okay? Sure. The man is telling the man care. I don't have the maid, or they just care about if I all right and they can get back the money, right? So, look. You can't be a third force. I don't say anything bad about Shell Nazar Muhammad on this podcast. I only say that he prays 5 times a day because I have great respect for him. That's a man who came from nothing and built something. And when you do that, you must earn the respect. Anybody who doesn't have respect for Shell Nazar Muhammad is a complete, I don't want to say the word, but you must have respect for a man. But that man handed his son a business 2-3 years. We all know, we all seen the nudes. Don't, you're a woman, so I won't go over that. But we've all seen the nudes. You've destroyed a lifetime legacy within 3 years of smuggling 10,000 kilos of gold, right? Now, how can you be a third force? Yeah, how can you be any force?
It all comes back to, is this individual actually trying to make Guyana better to cover his own butt? The vice president said it in the rally on Sunday, that he's just trying to avoid jail, and I agree with him. It's all personal. It's all about himself. It's not about the Guyanese people.
But jail is inevitable for him.
It seems so. Yes.
It is inevitable for him. Look, let's start with the GRA paperwork, right? He went, Mr. Muhammad went and put up his own GRA taxes. GRA pulled up back the records, realized that he underpaid his taxes, right?
Yeah.
So he shot himself literally.
And then he tried to drag His Excellency into it.
Let me finish, right? So he literally shot himself in the foot. So GRA come back and say, wait. You only pay 75,000 euros. This is the duty that you paid? All right, no problem. Let's revise it. Now, mind you, GRA has a 7-year law, right? GRA can come and reassess my tax, your tax, everybody taxes in this room, right? In the period of 7 years. That's the laws of Guyana. You can't want to run for president but not follow the laws. All right, the man said, I always look at stories from both sides. Let's just, he say he buy the car with an engine problem and he indeed pays 75,000. So I've offered him 500,000 US for the car. I like car with engine problem. I like whole thing. So bring it and let me fix it. You make 4 times back your money. You'll be able to pay GRA taxes. You get out of that. You can be a third force. I'm giving you a way out. Sell out the old thing that you got. You say, it didn't come from my mouth. It come from his mouth. Right? So, you want to be a third force. You got a man named Doggy. Right? Doggy, a.k.a. Bradley Sampson, now says that he came up with the name when we invest in neighborhoods. Well, we all know the neighborhoods he's investing.
Nationhood.
Oh, nationhood. Sorry. I forget anything he said because none of it makes sense. It doesn't matter. It won't matter after September 2nd anyways when they announce the election result. But, you got to give him credit because he is now a candidate. He's officially a candidate, so we have to mention him. So, we invest in, was it nationhood, you said? I clearly been getting it wrong in this podcast for the longest while. Now, you're a third force, right? Have you seen the Pablo Escobar movie? Not the movie, the series, I'm sure, or you haven't?
I haven't.
So let me explain what the Pablo Escobar syndrome is. The Pablo Escobar syndrome is this. Pablo Escobar had so much money from doing illicit business, as you know. It's not a secret, right? By smuggling so many kilos of cocaine out of Colombia to the United States and different parts of the world, that he got so bored of himself and not doing anything really, because he was just sitting counting money all day with like thief man Muhammad, right? And he decided to run. He had a candidate run for him. The candidate, they were paying people to attend the rallies and vote for him in Medellin, Colombia. And of course, this is a movie, so I can't quote the facts of the movie. Movies sometimes can portray things in the wrong ways, right? The night the guy won the seat, he resigned from the seat, and Pablo Escobar now was the leader. So, what that tells me is that this is exactly what Muhammad is going through. He has so much money. According to him, he has a little savings. He told God Mosley that. Now, if he can fool the people of Guyana, the Afro-Guyanese especially, right? And I want the Afro-Guyanese to listen to this statement. If he can fool you to tell you he's going to give you $45,000 to vote and to come to his rally, and he got a man called Doggy, because that is what he's accustomed to. He's accustomed to a criminal enterprise, a criminal element. So now they're only giving $5,000. What the fuck is he going to do when he gets into government, right? when he Dr. Ash, I'm sorry to curse, but I have to, because what is he going to do now? Where if well, God don't like he, I said it yesterday. Allah don't like he, Mom, Jesus don't like he, because if he gets sanctioned, nobody can like you. Right? Because if God did like you wouldn't get sanctioned. You would get away with it. Because they got drug dealers in this world who get away with murder. Well, he's gotten away with murder enough times, allegedly. I don't know. Right? So he's gotten sanctioned, wants to run, wants to do all of these things. But how can you challenge a man like the Honorable President or the Honorable Vice President? What do you want to do when you get sanctioned? Hold you and hug you up and kiss you up and go and hold two Bobby Bunny boat? Sorry, again, I'm sorry, but I think that is this boy's outcome. And me and him went to school together. We used to laugh at school. We used to actually give the smallest size of piece.
Oh my.
The smallest size of, he used to put the most money, by the way, because we're smarter than he by far, right? So he used to buy, most of the time he used to buy the pizza, and we used to give you the smallest size of the pizza. And now I understand why them boys like Brian and all them boys used to give you the smallest size. Maybe they knew and I didn't know, right? But now it all makes sense. Now, let's come back to the real politics of Guyana. You're sending out your goons to beat women because you promised 45,000 Guyana dollars to people to attend your rally.
50,000.
Oh, 50,000, sorry. You give the 5,000. So, you promised people $50,000. You didn't deliver on your promise. You started off your campaign as a shit campaign. You started off your nomination day as a shit nomination. Then the next day, clearly Ameir Ahmad has blacked out. Because I mentioned it yesterday, and by the time like I done this podcast and people see it, they go on by Coffee Square. Mind you, a national monumental square, fighting with guns, beating up women, right? And now you have Doggy, aka Bradley Sampson, saying that he came up with the name. Remember, this is not coming from Sheriff's Podcast. This is coming from a man who sent out a video, right? Saying that he came up with the name Win and he's running the party. What is your take on that, Dr. Kissoon?
It's shameful. Because since our 2020 fiasco, the whole world is looking at Guyana.
100%.
And it sees our political season as a clown show. That's the truth of it.
He made it a clown show.
I condemn all violence against women in any form or shape, be it with a gun, be it doggy, be it any man. I condemn violence against men also, but you know our women are vulnerable. Our women are very vulnerable, and that is absolutely unacceptable. He should be removed from the candidate list, one.
But please tell my wife that she's going to get beat 1-2 times.
Okay, I'll speak on your behalf.
I'm Asian now, but you know, I get a little licks and everything. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, but look, this is not somebody that can be...
It's a serious conversation, but you know, sometimes you got to put a little...
He cannot be allowed to be a candidate, one. He should be removed from that list because you're seen publicly beating a woman. Is that the kind of energy...
Wait. Bradley Sampson, a.k.a. Doggy, is on the candidate list?
That's what I heard. Yes.
Editor, can you please run back that candidate list? I think it's on Critics' website really quickly and check that, and so we can come back to that.
That's what I heard, because
you gotta be kidding.
There was a rumor that he was slated to be the prime ministerial candidate. There was a rumor.
Well, the man calling the shot, so I guess he could say whatever he want to say.
So
because at the end
it needs
of the
to
day,
be checked. That's what I heard based on several Facebook posts and reading things. But in any case, we condemn all forms of violence.
We do.
Full stop. But to even be associated with a party And did you hear his PR person threatening people that they're going to go to their houses and arrest them anytime?
And take them to the high court.
Yes.
The high court. Like,
Yeah, they already reached the court.
Apparently apparently she's a lawyer.
And they're
And a
also
judge.
saying that when they get into government, they're going to lock up everybody that spoke against
them. So she's
them.
a judge, jury, and
And then-
executioner at the
yes,
same time.
yes.
This is like 19. There's a show that I'm watching on on Netflix right now. I don't know where I was getting time to watch these things, right? It's 1923, and in the show there's a sheriff in the town, but the people take it upon themselves to be judge, jury, and executioner. So Fata is the judge, jury, and executioner. So if you go and now ask for your 50,000 that was promised to you to comedy rally,
They're coming to your house and
arrest you.
I quote.
So
And this is what we're seeing at their internal level. It reminds me of Anog and the fighting they had inside. If they couldn't even control their own party,
look, when
how you running a country?
when you can make Aubrey Norton
Look,
look like a angel, like a
Something
man who know what he doing,
something wrong.
something ain't wrong. Something catastrophic will happen to dismantle that whole party, because you got Dagi beating up women because me not getting money from Mohammed to pay the people them, and he holding out. I would have hold up on a little half change, so I not like, right? That's why I can't run. I can't run because I can thief, right? To tell you the truth, I can't run because I can thief, right? I not gonna lie to you, right? As I said. So I always say there's two sides of story. Maybe give Dagi the 50,000 each, and Dagi say must say there be only collecting 5,000, you can keep the rest, right? Now he came out with a statement last night. Now he kicked Dagi out of the party apparently.
He disassociated himself.
Well, I would
from
say
it.
kick Dagi out of the party, because if a man beating up a woman for money that you promised them, rent a crowd, it's called. Now, and I really got to check my tongue, God, I can buy a lotto ticket this afternoon, see what's going on. No, it's true, because like my tongue block, everything I say on this podcast is happening next day or 2 days after, right? So, now, it's a national embarrassment. International, imagine, you remember the Ian Allen story? Right? It's a national embarrassment and an international embarrassment. And I can't understand how this man doesn't see this. And I always, the lady that they wearing the Win t-shirt and says she's still voting for PPP. I always tell people, look, PPP can starve me grandmother for the entire 5 years. You see when the election day come? Sanjay got text she and she vote going on PPP. Right? They could starve she from the day they win to election day. But come back, Ghana hasn't moved past that stage yet. Let's be frank. We haven't moved past that I can, like the US, I can see which party really has, who's gonna gain more. The older folks, 40 and above, will vote party lines.
I actually have an insight on why that happens.
And tell me.
Right?
Yeah.
My little experience over the past 5 years.
Well, a
gets
lot of
into
experience,
this.
because you won't vacate your seat. So.
You see, the older generation, at first I used to condemn them for the way they were voting. But then I learned from my father what happened in the past.
Well, Burnham basically took us.
Burnham days when they had to hide in their chicken pens,
Yeah.
when they were being killed, when rape was happening.
Yeah. The PNC took this country back 40 years.
Yes, the older generation remembers
Yeah.
all the pain and the suffering that
Yeah.
they went through.
Yeah.
And they have developed a love for our vice president because he brought them out of that. So I can't blame them. I understand now why no matter what they go through, they remember the past and how hard it was. So nothing now, little starvation,
Yeah.
in changing their mind.
No,
Because it's nothing in comparison to what they went through in the past.
we can't even fathom the idea of what they've went through and passed through.
Exactly.
You know, imagine you couldn't even bring corned beef into the country, and I like corned beef.
Flour.
Flour. You
Don't
have to-
even get to corned beef, get to flour.
Yeah, you imagine that. The PNZ took this country back 40 years. We could have been far ahead of Trinidad, and we love Trinidad. We love the country. We love the people. We love the doubles, right? But let's frankly, we could have been past Trinidad, past Barbados. We don't have the water for tourism, but we could have explored oil. We could have
Well, we don't have the water, but the rainforest and our biodiversity in Guyana is incomparable to any one in the Caribbean.
Well, we're the only country in the world that, and it's a fact that we can sustain our population with growing our own foods.
Yes,
now.
our tourism industry has that potential
Yeah.
to take Guyana above the entire Caribbean. Forget the blue water.
Yeah.
When it comes to biodiversity here, flora, fauna, rainforests, and these things, we're right there where we need to be.
Like I said, I'll be frank. I think the ministry, not the minister, but the Ministry of Tourism needs to do more. I mean, I can't give them all praises. I have to say the truth. I think they need to do a little more in promoting Guyana.
Yeah.
You see, I have a helicopter and it flies 500 feet, and I don't know why my pilots fly so low, because I always tell you if I got emergency, I can't jump out quick enough, right? But I think that our tourism, and it's gonna get there, right? You know, everything can happen at one time. You can't build road, get tourism.
That's why I said it has the potential
Exactly,
to be.
right. But to be frank, I respect the Minister of Tourism. But I think in the next 5 years, they should try to enhance the tourism sector a little more. But the PNZ took us back 40 years. And now we got a man want to take us back 200 years.
Oh, yes.
Right? I might got become a gigolo in Venezuela because
The mere fact that you don't even know your own policy shows where
the
we're
man
headed.
don't know, not policy, the man don't know.
Maybe we're asking the wrong question. Does he know what a policy is?
Can he spell the word policy?
Okay.
You gotta, that's the question God need to ask him, sir, spell policy. And Mark France might jump in and he might forge the word policy too. So, you know, Dr. Kissoon, we're going to end this podcast shortly, but I'm very disappointed in Team Mohammed's party. Again, the man is who he is, right? Everybody has their own personality. Everybody has their own character. And that's just his. A scamp. A smuggler. Right? And he wants to run for the highest land in the office. But have you ever seen the Honorable Vice President who has been in politics for so many years? Or the Honorable Irfan Ali, the current president and the future president of Guyana, right? Got a hand on two women's bobby.
Never. And I see that also from a different perspective. Can you imagine a female politician being seen in pictures like that?
Exactly my point. Now, this man wants I believe that he thinks he's Donald Trump. No. This man thinks he's Donald Trump. But Donald Trump was a billionaire. lost everything, never got sanctioned, was charged, all charges were vacated, right? And we all know those were politically motivated charges, right?
Yeah.
Donald Trump took over the RNC party, completely taken over. The man won by a landslide, right? Now, if you study US politics and history, they work with electoral colleges and they work with lines. Literally, states would have red and blue. Guyana's winner take all. So, the man don't understand a policy. He can't explain. So, imagine, he probably don't know what we're talking about. If he watching this podcast, he must be going and, he can't must spell electoral college. Father, my God, do the fee. Right?
Questionable. But
Right? So, my point is this. And we're going to end this podcast very shortly, like I said. I don't want to keep your time up. But I think this is the longest podcast I had, the most enjoyable podcast I've had. I might gotta do another one before elections or a couple more, right?
yes, I'm enjoying this.
No,
podcast
I am
too.
actually enjoying it because I'm learning things as well, right? I'm learning that you're the third deputy speaker and the third woman to hold that position. I said what I had to say to you, that I was angry at you at first, but then I understand that I started to understand why you held that seat. I'm glad that you held that seat because Althea King or Kian Jibor could not have held their ground or her ground. You didn't get out of part. You didn't stand up and walk out when we were fighting for our national sovereignty, which is very important. The most important to me, by the way.
Yeah.
Nobody take me blade the grass away. Put it back. You take the grass, you go find a way to plant it back. Right?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say to my viewers, I want to thank Dr. Asha Kissoon today for clarifying her point of why she had stayed in that seat. I am very proud of her. I've learned a lot from her today. I want to say to my viewers and the people that are watching this podcast today, I hope that you're going to scroll the Sheriff News Network page and you're going to see all the things we've spoken about today. And when September 1st comes, you put your X where it matters. And where it matters is the PPPC line on that paper. I think there's 25 parties or something like that.
Well, 7 submitted lists on nomination.
Only 7.
Only 7.
Okay. So I hope that when you look at those 7, you make the right choice. Remember what happened yesterday. A promise was made and a promise wasn't delivered by a man who claimed he started a party. Another man came out later and said that no, he started the party and he called the shots. They are not even in government yet, and they are not delivering. They're fighting. Don't forget the main fact that he's sanctioned by OFAC. And you can be the president of this country. Once you're sanctioned by OFAC, Dr. Kissoon, I did a lot of research on this. There's never been a person that has been unsanctioned.
That's true.
Right? So I said this yesterday, ExxonMobil will have to leave. They have no choice. They have to leave. So the oil money and the development and the 100,000 cash grant and the breakfast food program and the school grants, gone. We ain't got money for do nothing. After the oil is gone. 2, Ghana is going to be sanctioned. So when you get a visa, I said this yesterday again, you get a visa, you can go another country to renew the visa, or you can't get a visa at all. The British will take back their form, I forgot the form that you have to fill out to go to. It's visa free, but you'll now have to get a visa. We would not be able to import a lot of things, Coca-Cola, You can't drink. If you know you're gonna vote for Team Win, start drinking enough Coca-Cola from one time because they're gone. All the international franchises like Starbucks and all of these, just like what happened in Russia.
Look at countries who have faced sanctions.
Correct.
Cuba, Venezuela. You see their people leaving the countries.
Correct. And
By the droves. That would be the position that we would be put back into.
I just said I will have to go be a gigolo in Venezuela because I can't work hard. Me back, I sit down here, me back out it. So I will have to go be a gigolo because I can go be a man prostitute in Venezuela. Because that's the way this man is going to run the country. Dr. Kissoon, I don't want to keep up much of your time. I've already kept you here. This is my most enjoyable podcast. Actually, sorry, I didn't do it yesterday, but I got a little black tongue. Today, I hope the win party going dismantle because like my tongue black. So when I say something is up, right? Right? And I want you to close this podcast off today. I want you to tell the Guyanese public your perspective, and then I will end the podcast.
I'm going to close off by saying something that I said before. This is not church, it's politics. And I got a lot of condemnation for saying this, but people did not understand me.
Yeah.
A covenant with God is unbreakable. It's something no matter what you want to do in life, you can't break that. Politics, you can change your mind. You can choose to follow another party or support another party. That's why I said this is not church, it's politics.
Correct.
You can choose. You can't choose who God you serve,
Correct.
who your creator is.
Correct.
And I have changed my mind. I'm supporting the PPPC. I'm on their candidates list. I support the work they've been doing for the last 5 years. I support the work that they're going to continue doing. I'm proud as a young woman right now to be part of this growing economy. And I will be putting my X next to the cup, and I encourage all the young people out there to vote on the policies. Look around you. You look left or right, development is happening in this country without failure. Don't be distracted. Don't be distracted. And on the funnier side, I say this, Guyanese people, make sure you're bucked in slack.
I'm going to end this podcast now because you're going with the slack book. So, the man it wasn't his bhakti he was wearing, it was his son bhakta, and the bhakta is still slack.
Ensure your bhakta in slack. Be wise.
No, but listen, Chef is do a thing. He could come and help you out if he's sorry for you, right? Centimeter rulers is very hard to find in Guyana. You actually don't, you just gotta import them. So, Chef is do a thing,
We have Penny right now. His first policy could be tight bhakta for everybody.
Man, Dr. Kissoon is killing me. Yes. Tight bhakta policy.
Policy vote.
Yes. Anyways, Dr. Kissoon, I want to thank you for showing up today. I must apologize about yesterday. I'm very proud of you for not giving up your seat, for standing your ground. Now I know anytime I want somebody to fight with or to fight alongside me, pick up the phone and I call Dr. Kissoon, and we will take it from there. I want to thank everybody. I'll catch you on the next podcast. Support the PPPC. Support Dr. Asha Kissoon and her candidacy for this election.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.